It's unnatural. A yo-yo's like Jack, running around in a perpetual state of adolescence.
My dad hated Jack. He told me he met him. I want he never saw that.
Love, like justice, is blind.
A marriage is an eye-opener.
Don't go there, please. I don't know what's worse, your situation or mine. My guy's looking at 15 years for mercy killing his wife who was going to die in a month anyway.
Challenge.
Part of me wishes I never figured out it was him.
Well, I spoke to the DA. They're going to plead down to criminal negligent homicide. He won't do the max.
Well, that's something. Thank you.
Miss Reagan, I didn't mean to startle you. I just saw you head this way after court.
Who is he? Who are you?
I just wanted you to know that you were right. He was very weak. I barely broke a sweat. Enjoy your drinks.
He's the guy. Hey!
Danny. Hi, Danny.
Alright. Ready? Set. It's not who wrote the evil fast.
Other people get to say about their kids, oh, they grow up so fast. We don't. But today I'm gonna, because I want to. Charles, he did. He grew up so fast. He was but 9 when he announced he didn't believe in Santa Claus anymore. Now, we spent Christmas out at my dad's in the Pennsylvania woods. We had a tree and a fireplace, so a chimney for Santa to come out of. So that Christmas Eve, I got a pair of my dad's boots, big feet, my dad, and I dipped them in the ashes in the fireplace and made tracks going to the tree with presents and back to the fireplace, like Santa tracked ash all over the floor.
I'm on my third one. Ooh, wow. Huh, I didn't even drink it. Because you could drink it through that. You lost. Did I drink it through this? You heard that, right? You could look through that and it come out this part. Then you go come out.
Thank you.
What it come out? Nah, I know you sucked it. Okay, yeah. Just see, you hear that?
Anyway, Charles, he bought it lock, stock, and barrel, and we had a good 2 more years of believing in Santa after that. And that's what I'm thinking about tonight.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode. Next, 2 students arrested for threatening 2 local schools.
No one should threaten schools like that.
How one team tried to play the victim to avoid being caught.
Action News Jax is next.
I promised to have you.
And to hold you.
Because you
Have that special sauce.
rediscover your love for the Big Mac. And for a limited time, beef things up with the Grand Big Mac.
How's he getting all the parts?
The client loves it.
But anyone can say, get 4 lines of unlimited data for $100 a month, plus up to 4 free LG Fortunes when you switch.
But he's got that hair.
I am here!
Come here, little buddy. Smile. You're on cricket.
Oh, you're my sunshine. Oh, only sunshine. Oh, you make me happy. Sunshine. My skies are blue.
Cool beers
America's got Anderson Cooper and from Superior Donuts, Maz Jobrani.
Oh,
Tonight on The Late Show.
They got the hot ones. They got the hot ones.
Next Friday, Blue Bloods returns with new cases. Did you feel threatened? That hit close to home.
I'm leaving the NYPD.
New Blue Bloods, CBS next Friday.
They're a match made in murder. Alan Cumming and Bojana Novakovic star in Instinct. Premieres Sunday, March 18th on CBS.
Live, this is CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax at 11. Local coverage you can count on.
Tonight, 2 Clay County students face charges in connection to school threats on social media. I'm John Bachman.
I'm Tanika Hughes. Clay County deputies arrested a 15-year-old student this morning and then just hours later arrested a 13-year-old junior high school student.
That's what I'm telling them as a parent. Knock it off.
Action News Jax, Amber Kriska is live in Clay County. Amber, the sheriff has a strong message to students and parents about school safety.
He said, knock it off. He's warning students if they make a threat, they will get caught and be charged.
Knock that crap off. Knock it off.
Tonight, Clay County Sheriff Daryl Daniels is making sure students hear him loud and clear.
Because what you're going to do is get you behind in trouble. You're going to wind up in jail just like your 2 little partners did. And you're not going to be happy.
Deputies arrested 2 students who they say made threatening messages sent through social media. A 15-year-old girl at Oakleaf High School this morning, and hours later, a 13-year-old girl at Oakleaf Junior High.
It was shocking to me that these were little girls.
In the case of the 13-year-old, Sheriff Daniels says she let them know about a post pretending to be a victim.
She made herself to be a victim, and she was actually the suspect.
Now, she and a 15-year-old girl are charged with 2 felonies and a misdemeanor.
You don't want this to be your kid.
For the last 2 days, some parents decided to keep their kids home.
It's really scary, like, you know, sending your kid to school and not knowing what's going on.
But Sheriff Daniels encouraged them to return on Monday.
Monday's a school day. I expect to see the house full. Not their house full, but the schoolhouse full. Let your kids come on back to school. They'll be fine.
And Sheriff Daniels says a felony like this could result in a sentence of up to 15 years. Reporting live in Clay County, Amber Kriska, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Tonight, we're learning more about the past of the 19-year-old accused of killing 17 people in last week's Florida school massacre. Investigators say from 2008 to 2016, there were at least 39 calls for service to the home of Nicholas Cruz. Many of the calls were made by his mother. Other calls came from other families he lived with after his mother died last November. Some of the later calls had people telling dispatchers they were afraid Cruz would harm them or himself, especially once he was old enough to buy a gun.
I need her over here because I'm afraid he comes back and he has a lot of weapons. What kind of weapon, ma'am? And then he asked my son, what kind of weapon did he get that he's going to get? A Remington? Who did this? Nicholas Cruz.
Last month, another call came to the FBI tip line. A woman close to Cruz called saying she feared he was at a breaking point and was worried about him. Quote, getting into a school and just shooting the place up. The FBI admits it failed to act on that tip.
In the wake of the school shooting, President Trump proposed a plan to equip some teachers with guns to keep students safe, a plan that Florida Governor Rick Scott does not support. The Florida Teachers Union supports Governor Scott's plan, which includes $50 million toward mental health initiatives, including having a dedicated mental health counselor at each school. They say teachers should not be armed.
And where would it be stored? You know, what is the actual protocol? Who would have one? There are just way too many questions to even have that be an option.
The governor also wants every sheriff's office to have a DCF caseworker embedded within the department that would only focus on handling repeat cases. Action News Jax wants to know your opinion on this issue. Do you believe some teachers should be armed? Let us know by voting in our poll on actionnewsjax.com/vote.
A vigil was held tonight for the 7-year-old boy killed near his Durkeeville home Sunday.
Lord, that your will be done, God.
Today's vigil for Tashawn Gallen was held 1 year to the day that his grandmother, Jennifer Nelson, was killed outside of the Kelly's Place bar. Family members are asking people to put the guns down and just stop the violence. A reward in Tashawn's murder case is now $20,000 thanks to $10,000 added by the ATF. We did reach out to the ATF to ask about that additional reward money. They sent us a statement that reads, every murder is important to the ATF and JSO, but when a 7-year-old gets murdered and the community is outraged more than others, and we are too, we're going to support the community. The local crime prevention group Mad Dads will hold a neighborhood walk Saturday at 11 a.m. to ask people to come forward with information in this case. The group will go door to door along Mount Herman Street to help find the suspects responsible for killing this 7-year-old boy. They're urging people to call Crime Stoppers with any information.
For the first time, we're getting a look at the plan St. Augustine city leaders have to regulate panhandlers around businesses, bus stops, and even daycare centers in the city. A hearing on the proposal will be heard Monday night. Action News Jack's Danielle Available is live in St. Augustine. Danielle, you've seen several panhandlers tonight just in the past 2 hours, and people tell you it is a big problem there.
And this is St. George Street, where a lot of those panhandlers like to hang out. I'm being told on an average night, there's about 20 people lining these streets begging for money. And even at the end of the street, there's a couple of panhandlers down there. Nearly 80 maps we presented Monday night to show where panhandling will be allowed and where it won't be allowed. Most of the rules in the proposed ordinance are based on distance. For example, one rule would prohibit panhandling within 20 feet of an ATM or city parking meters. The mayor says there are areas throughout the city, and not just on St. George Street, where it needs to be banned because panhandling could pose a risk to people. I spoke with a woman who is homeless, and she tells me that homeless people are coming to this city from other places to try to get money from all of the tourists, and she says because of that, it's becoming dangerous.
And now that there's so many other buskers and panhandlers, there's just like too much going on, and the people that do actually have talents and want to like project themselves are kind of getting treated badly.
And the ordinance is part of a meeting on Monday night at 5 o'clock at St. Augustine City Hall, and this ordinance could be approved within the next month. Of course, Action News Jax will be at that meeting, and we'll bring you updates throughout the night. In St. Augustine, Danielle Available, CBS 47 Fox 30, Action News Jax.
The mother of the 8-year-old girl who was kidnapped, raped, and murdered is speaking out on how she feels now that her daughter's killer has been recommended for the death sentence.
Once I saw some of the jurors passing around the tissue box, I knew that it's all for Cherish, and I want to thank them all so much.
Action News Jax spoke to Rain Periwinkle about the impact this week's sentencing of Donald Smith has had on her. A jury recommended Donald Smith for killing Cherish.